Somewhere.
I've got all the volume down. You don't hear anything on your side, right? It looks like I've got everything down here.
You
So
sound good,
Nope,
dude.
you're
You
good.
sound great.
great.
All right, good evening, everybody. This is Nick, KN6DAL, and welcome to the Thursday Night Anti-Net. Before we get started, I want to take just a second and see if I could get a little bit of feedback on our audio level. So if there's anybody on the W6VVR repeater, if you could maybe just jump in and let us know how we sound there. And then if anybody is watching YouTube here, if you could maybe just post in the comments if we're too loud, too quiet. We did experience a couple of audio blasts last time, and we just want to try to prevent that to the best of our ability. So I'll take a quick break and see if there's anybody out there on VVR that wants to chime in.
A little delay in the video and the audio, but this is Kill November 6, Bravo X or X-Ray. So far, so good.
Okay, thanks for the feedback, and thanks for coming out and chiming in. So anyway, let's kick this off. So the Anti-Net is basically the way we got started. It's really designed to be informal. So if anybody wants to jump in and say something or key up and say hi, if there's any new ham radio operators out there, we definitely encourage that. First and foremost, though, we definitely want to thank the W6VVR repeater and the Vaca Valley Radio Club. And for the use of the repeater on Thursday night. They haven't kicked us off yet. They've allowed us to do a lot of really cool, unique things here. And if there's any priority traffic or emergency traffic, please chime in with your call sign and say break or emergency traffic, and we'll hold the repeater open for whatever you need to say. The 2 Meter Crew is a loose association of ham radio operators. We're just learning and enjoying all things ham radio, simplex. We like operating all kinds of different modes. And one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight is based on digital modes. But before we get into that, there's a couple of different ways that you can access us. We're live on Ham Radio Ham Radio Northwest Ham Shack. And then we can also be accessed through the W6VVR repeater. And then there's also a number of digital modes that you can use to access us, and that is Echolink through WG5EEK. DMR, the talk group, is 314964. Through All-Star, which is node 51094 and 51010, and also through YSF Reflector 24033. Now, there's also a couple new ways that you're able to access the Anti-Net, and I'm going to pass that over to Bobby Lee to give us a little bit of rundown on what he's been doing and talk to us a little bit about that. So with that, I'll pass it over to you, Bobby Lee.
Right on. I appreciate that, Nick. Hi, everybody. Bobby Lee, KD6KWV. And, I've got a little exciting news. I've been having so much fun in all the different realms. I've got them all, P25, DMR, D-Star, and, of course, WiresX. And WiresX has become my go-to for now because it's been the easiest one for me to inspire other hams to get on quickly and easily. Only problem was I didn't have really many choices out. Well, I didn't have any choices for that matter out here in Contra Costa. So I decided to run a node, give it a try, and just experiment. That's the beauty of our hobby. In doing so, I had some friends that all of a sudden started hitting the node and using it very quickly at a push of a button, typically with their Yaesu equipment, and no code plugging. So for me, minus the code plug, quick access, push a button. I'm talking all over the world. WiresX seemed to be the thing that just got my attention. So I decided to go from a node to a repeater. Definitely changed things out here significantly for local hams in this community to access the WiresX internet interface and be able to jump around the world and meet people, talk to hams all over the place, and have a great time. And so that really inspired me. I decided to share it with a dear friend of mine, Tim K6BIV, and this gentleman has been a powerhouse in the digital world for several years and has made a huge footprint, huge contributions, And when I shared the WiresX interface with him, he kind of blew up. He's like, this is interesting. Sounds like fun. I don't think it was but a week, and the guy had a new repeater, an FTM 400, an FT3D, an HRI 200, and connected very quickly and very easily. That being said, I wanted to grow a network out here in Contra Costa just because we don't have one. And I just did not anticipate the growth to happen so quickly, but great things happen when you connect great minds that think alike and share similar interests. And really, Tim took this thing and blew it up to a whole nother level, which I can't explain the level of gratitude, but that's what we're dibbling and dabbling in right now. WiresX C4 Fusion, and we've got some very, we've got 2 repeaters already up, 1 coming. Concord, Pittsburgh, soon to be Clayton, Concord border. We're looking at other places to put it, how we can connect. And tonight, we've been blessed with connecting to the W6 DVR repeater, Northwest Ham Shack, the K6 BIV repeater, the KD6 KWV repeater. I'm just tickled. So a lot of great things, and we can share more. So I'll throw it back to you, Nick. We'll talk about it when you're ready.
This is Nick, KN60AL. Thanks, Bobby Lee. Can you, for reference, let everybody know the RF access points and frequencies that they can link up to those repeaters?
Absolutely, absolutely. Right now, both repeaters are in test mode, so we're not running any PLs. But the Concord repeater is 441.050 with a positive offset. Again, no PL. And then we have the Pittsburgh repeater right now at 441.925. Positive shift, and again, no PL. And then, through Tim's creativity and connecting dots and dots, we have a YSF reflector that you can get into that is 802.80. And you can type that right into your search bank, and well, actually, there's lots of ways that you can get into that. I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Awesome. Well, thank you. In just a moment, I'm going to pass it off to Mike, WG5EEK. But before I do that, I want to mention just a couple of things for good reference. One, we have a 2 Meter Crew Facebook page. And if you search 2MC, we're at 292 members. And we'd love to see it break that 300 mark. So if you have time, jump on there and say hi. And then I also posted in the YouTube chat, you can access us through Discord. And a little caveat to Discord is once we hit 100 members, we have some fun giveaways that we're going to start. So let's see if we can break the bank on that one. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Mike, WG5EEK, and he has an awesome presentation for us tonight.
All right. So yeah, this is Mike here, WG5EEK, and I thought I'd put this presentation together. I saw on the internet people were asking, how do you connect this to that? And specifically, someone asked, how do you connect All-Star to Zello? And I was doing some research, and I found a small little form that had a kind of a clue. Didn't really say how exactly to do it, but I figured it out, and I wanted to document that and put that in a PowerPoint so we can kind of all look at it together, do a little visual, because I'm kind of a visual guy. I like to see things work. It makes it easier. So if you're learning that way, you're right there with me. So I want to kind of jump into, I'm going to share my screen. And I just want to say, first off, you don't have to use this for, All-Star. If you have another audio source you want to connect to, like a digital mode, Blue DV is a popular program. It's really good. DV Switch is another. Zoiper, you can use that. I mean, Echolink, lots of things. You can link 2 different things pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. I'm going to share this. All right. Is that showing up?
Yep, you're on.
All right. So
good, man.
How to cross-link 2 audio sources. So first of all, you want to grab this link here, and I'll throw that in the chat here in a minute after I'm done. And what it is it allows you to install basically 2 virtual audio devices into one computer. So you have an input, an output, or 2 inputs or 2 outputs. But we're going to use this to do a crossover onto, one's going to be input, and then the other one's going to go to an output. So you're linking like your mic to a speaker and then back and forth. And it is donationware, so you can give as little as €5 or $5 US, all the way up to 25. So it's not exactly free. There is a free one that gives you 1 audio cable, but you really need to have 2 to be able to do this. So it's $5. It's really, what's that, like a coffee at Starbucks? Not a big deal. All right, so you get this, you download it, you install it, and then when you go to your sound properties in Windows, and this is also available for Mac, but I'm just not a Mac guy, I don't have one, but so I'm going to show you the Windows version. So when you go to your sound control panel, you'll see under playback, you'll have one called B and A. So first of all, we're going to use B for our playback, right? So it says it's B here, and then if you right click, go to properties, you want to make sure that you uncheck the allow applications to take exclusive control of this device, because you want to be able to use it in more than one place. So that's pretty much it. You can play with your sound levels and stuff, but that's the main things you want to make sure is that is unchecked. I think by default it is checked. So then we're going to go to recording tab and then go over to A, right? So that's going to be our input or our mic. And we want to make sure that you don't check this, because if you check this, then you might be listening to it like on your speaker, and you might get a lot of feedback, a lot of echoing. So I just keep it unchecked, and then make sure that A is tied to A, which is on the playback one. If we look back here, it'll be this one. So, and then you can adjust your levels and stuff. So that's pretty much the setup for how to get the 2 virtual sound ports installed. So I like to take this program. It's called Zoiper. It allows me to connect to my All-Star. If you have a All-Star and you don't have an Android phone, you have Zoiper that's available for computer or for your cell phone, your smartphone, and that's the only way to get into it. If you have an Android, you can use a DB Switch app that's available in the store, but this is what's available for Mac, for at least for an iPhone or whatever. So as you can see on this one, our input device, our mic, is A, just like we showed before, and our output device is B, just like we had here for your playback and here for your input, right? So that's the first app, and this could be any app that allows you to change your audio devices. And so, for example, I hooked it up to this. And if you guys are familiar with this is the desktop install version of Discord. So if you ever wanted to know how to get it into Discord, connect the repeater to Discord, the Discord to repeater, here you go. So you're going to have your input device is going to be the opposite. So it's B, and your output is A. So you crossed over your mic and your speaker, and then you want to have it set up for the desktop version, set up for voice activity, and then you can have the individual people have to use push to talk. So that way they're pushing and then letting go and they're done. It's just like keying a radio, right? And that's one you can connect to. Here's an example for Zello. You guys are familiar with that. You create a channel, 2 meter crew anti-net, and you have this set. This basically locks in your push to talk for Vox, because we are going to have to use Vox for this. But your same thing on this. Your playback is A and your recording is B. So remember, our source that we're going into is going to be opposite, right? So each one of these they're going to be crossing. You can only do one at a time into another audio source. You can't link 3 or 4. But another example is BlueDV. It's a nice digital program to get into DMR, D-Star, Fusion, all that stuff. And that's how we're actually using it right now to go into the YSF reflector. I have it connected downstairs. But you have to have Vox on. You can adjust your hang time, how loud you have to be to activate the Vox. I've actually set this to 0, and the hang time is at 1 as a test tonight to see how that works. So as you can see, there's a multitude of things you can connect. Anything that you want to connect to it. Now, you got to be careful Because if you're going to connect all these things or anything to a repeater, you're going to need to make sure that they have their hand radio license, or you're going to have to monitor it and be like, hey, this is third-party traffic, and ID and have them ID every time. You want to be safe about it. So if you're going to use something like Discord or Zello, you need to make it a private channel, verify that the person has access. If it's not going to be you, before you want to do this, you want to be make sure people are legal and they have the right credentials, to be on the radio. And so, as you can see, I've connected my Zoiper, or dialing in the All-Star, and this was an example I did locally, was my local test node and a private node, and that makes it you can connect to a repeater. So there you go. There is all the different ways that you can connect. And like I said, I'm going to give you this link to be able to buy this. And I'm not saying you have to use this. There might be free alternatives out there, but I know this works. It's working now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to throw this in here. There's the link. And then I'll turn it back over to you, Nick, for any questions. This is WG5EEK. Let me stop share. Back to you.
Hey, thanks, Mike. This is Nick, KN6DAL. Yeah, I think that I kept that rolling. I took a couple of intermittent breaks, but hopefully it didn't time out the WiresX side on that. I saw Tim had made a note in there. I don't know if it booted you out. Are you still connected, Bobby?
Looks like it.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, I'll pass it off to the group here. Is there anybody out there that has any questions or anything for Mike and the presentation?
I'm just looking at this radio here real quick. I don't have any repeater output on my side.
So there is a question that says, will this VA app work with my SDR Play radio and or web-based SDR? As long as you can select the different audio sources, yes, as long as you're able to control that. You have to be able to go into the setting and cross over. I'm pretty sure like SDR Sharp you should be able to. I've never messed with SDR Play. I think it uses SDR Uno. I don't know I don't have one, so I can't say yes on everything, but it depends on the software. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. So as far as digital modes go, I'm just kind of touching the surface on it, and I'm learning a ton every single day. And I didn't think that it was something that I would really want to get involved in, but I'm finding more and more that there's some interesting things that you can do, kind of like what you just shared, and it's it can be a tough learning curve, but it can also be really exciting when you finally get something connected and get a response on the other end, and you learn something as a takeaway. So with that being said, I'd probably say that my favorite thing to do digitally so far would probably be YSF based on its ease of use. The second would be All-Star because of its versatility, and you kind of just showed that, and there's just so many different things that you can do with it that it constantly, for me, keeps my mind going. But I'd like to hear from other people, like maybe Greg. What kind of digital modes do you use, and what's interesting to you about digital that keeps you interacting with it?
Well, thanks, Nick. I think honestly that it's just the variety of it all. There's just so many. I honestly think that it'd be cool if like all these guys like ICOM and Yaesu and whatever, Motorola would come up with a standard that everybody could get behind. And I've seen some like that. What is it? That VC1000 or there's like a growing ham community who are looking at like an open source vocoder, like the Thumb DV. The Ambi 3000 is it's a licensed kind of protocol, right? You have to buy into it, and I've actually done a little bit of the research. Am I still going, or did
you're on, man?
You're good.
Okay, I'm sorry, my Siri just went off on my confused me here, but the vocoder itself, the Ambi 3000, I think it costs like $150K to develop for it. If you really wanted to like push something on it, the Thumb DV, that Ambi 3000, all these some kind of interactions, connects to the internet are rather expensive licensing wise. But there have been, I'm not as prepared as Mike is at all, or Bobby, or any of you guys, but quite honestly, there's some. I think if the community got behind like some of the open source, there's some open source vocoders out there that would really kind of unlock it, and the things like um, all these modes, the D stars and the DMRs and all that stuff. There'd be like a commonality if we could get with the open source. It's just kind of my thought on it. I do have my DMR going at home. I got a couple ways, a Blue DV, my homebrew Pi Star going, D Star's going on a little ICOM as well as on Blue DV. I've not really figured out the Yaesu Fusion quite yet, but between Bobby Lee and Mike and that other one going on in town, it's something I got to get on. It's another excuse for my wife just walked out. It's another excuse for me to buy radio.
There you go.
Radio.
It's absolutely a ton of fun. KN60AL. Well, let's pass it out to. Let's start with anybody coming in through a YSF reflector, because that seems to be the theme a little bit tonight, as far as the connectivity, or through any digital mode for that matter. Is there anybody out there on a digital mode that wants to chime in and say hi?
There he is.
Hey.
What's up, Kevin?
How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing well. I was sidetracked. I was listening to the repeater and waiting to be let into the room, but I was playing with this crystal filter and I got all...
Yeah, I heard a station in there. Go ahead and try coming back in.
So anyways, I just...
You guys heard that, right? I heard somebody come in.
Yeah, again, I'm not getting
I'll give
any
it another shot.
output on my repeater, but I see someone keep trying to.
Oh, I got him. I got him. All right, I think I got it. N6 or N6CMB. Is that you, Chris, coming in through Echolink?
Yes, sir. I won't tie you guys up long, but just another example of making digital work. I'm on the road tonight on I-5 heading south. Didn't have a lot of great choices, so I just turned on the phone and been listening to the presentation on Echolink. Thanks for doing it. Congratulations, Bobby and Tim, on the new Contra Costa Fusion Network. And, use those digital modes to make it work. Yeah, guys. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Chris. Appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. Looking forward to seeing you back home safe next week. This is KN6DAL. Who else we got out there tonight? Come on in and say hi.
EFR, Burton, Green Valley. How you guys doing? Forward to their growth with their whole fusion network.
All right, we had a double there. I think the first person was Sandy, if I heard her right. But one station at a time. Come on back in.
Thank you. I didn't know anybody else was behind me there, but just wanted to wish the guys well and say how proud I am of them and how fast and how far they've come with Yaesu and London. But they're selling me on it every day, and I just want to say how proud I am of them. And I look forward to their growth, and I look forward to your growth too with the Northwest Ham Shack. So it's all pretty cool, guys. It'll be a good next year. KN6GST 73.
Hey, thanks a lot for coming in, and I'm pretty sure that was Bert. I could be wrong, but other station, go ahead now.
N6 VFR, coming at you. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's happening, Bert? Tell us a little bit about digital. Are you getting involved in that?
The VVR's, what's that called? YSF, I guess it is? Yeah. And I've been actually trying to get onto Bobby Lee's for the past couple of days, and I haven't been able to connect to it. But I've been able to connect to the VVR's repeater all the time. But Bobby Lee's I can't get onto for some reason.
All right, well, I tell you what, we've got the man with the plan in action ready to walk you through the whole process. So as soon as we open up the Zoom chat, jump in, and we will get you on that repeater system. I can assure you that much. it's a guaranteed deal. So he's ready to help. KN60AL. Any other stations out there? Well, I see in the chat Aaron's out there, and he's actually connected through the Contra Costa repeater system. Aaron, if you're out there, why I don't have your call sign memorized yet? Is it AEF? Yeah, come on in.
Yeah, I am in, and I'm on Bobby's YSF reflector, and then Mike worked some weird stuff, and I saw his call, so I'm like, man, I'm in the anti-net now. How'd that happen?
Yeah, it's great that you stumbled onto it. Spread the word, let everybody know. We're going to keep that linked up during the duration of the anti-net, and hopefully spread a little bit more traffic.
What about Mel Video 63? Do you have a digital here, man? Come with it.
That's I think that's Michael from Carmichael. He comes in through RF, I'm pretty sure. I'm not keyed up right now, by the way. All right, well, this is Nick, KN60AL. We have Kevin here, and I want to hear from Kevin. So I'm pretty sure you started ham radio, didn't you, Kevin?
Yeah.
Tell us about digital modes. What is your experience with digital, and what? Because so what I want to know, and in all seriousness, I'm not making fun of you for your age. But you have been around since kind of before.
This guy in his 30s making fun
He's like, what did I step into? No, but what? So you were around ham radio before digital was really super prevalent, right?
Yes, when everything was made out of wood.
Antennas and antennas to cars.
Yes.
Did you have to run with your feet like in the Flintstones and stuff?
Fred Flintstone. Yes.
That's so mean. You're gonna hate me forever.
Back when 2 meters, when I was a kid, the 2 meters, it was really cool if there was an FM 2 meter repeater because there was AM 2 meter repeaters. But I never had one. I was just a kid. By the time I got my license, there was a bunch of FM stuff up.
Well, in all seriousness, what I do want to know is, like, from your perspective, kind of growing through the hobby, and you got to see the whole digital realm sort of unfold. What to you is the biggest benefit of that, and do you see cons related to that, or what's your feeling on how digital has kind of enveloped into the hobby?
Well, first of all, I think adding the digital to it in general has been a great thing because it opened up the door and gave opportunities to individuals that had particular skill sets that they wouldn't have normally used. So I think that's a really good thing. And from the point of view of maybe a analog purist kind of a thought, there are people out there that say, digital never sounds as good as analog. Well, we're doing communication stuff here, and yeah, it's going to sound a little bit different, especially the ham radio stuff. But man, let's just be honest. The things like Fusion, things like DMR, even back in when one of the first things I ever did was packet radio. I used a Cantronics. I had a Camtronics Cam. There was a Cantronics KPC, I think 2s and 3s, and we used old data terminals to hook up to them. And I think our baud rate was something like 2. Well, it was more. It was 300, I think. And we had a blast. You know, we had bulletin boards. We had all this stuff. And now we've made it to the point where we've got radios that are affordable, that do analog and digital, and give the operators an opportunity to make that choice for themselves. And guys like Bobby and our Brian over here have put up Fusion boxes that are giving people even more choices. And unless I'm misunderstood, Mike, our resident geek, haven't you patched the VVR system into Bobby's Fusion system tonight through some magical Linux thing?
Well, yeah, you missed the presentation.
I actually listened to it.
Yeah, so I crossed over from All-Star to the Blue DV Windows program. I did all through Windows for my video's freezing. Anyway, all through Windows 10 through basically software to link it up, because that's really all this is software, right?
I understand. So you used your computer with the Windows software, and you crossed it over from our All-Star into Bobby's Fusion, which is awesome. You know, so I don't, and there are those, and I really had fun with the All-Star stuff. There are people out there who say, well, All-Star is not really radio. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it's tying multiple systems together so that we can talk to Bob's stuff. We can talk to our stuff. We're crying out loud. We wouldn't be talking to you, Nick, if we didn't have the digital stuff connected between us.
Yeah, and if it wasn't radio, why do I have this really expensive radio sitting in front of me that I'm talking on right now?
It's radio.
Hey, don't say that.
This is a radio.
It has to happen.
Yeah, in our phones. I mean, it's just the technology, and the audio quality is getting better and better. Now on the amateur radio side, for the most part, the audio quality on the digital stuff is on what they're calling wideband is okay, in my humble yet accurate audio opinion. So it is different. And when we switch to Fusion boxes between analog and wide digital, yeah, you can hear the difference. Okay. And we spent I think we spent less than $1,000 on a repeater, a box that has not one, but 2 repeaters in it, a UHF and a VHF with a built-in controller that amateurs can actually afford. I mean, come on, let's not poo-poo that. That's a great innovation. And then, so an amateur radio is going to just get better. The digital is going to get better. I don't think it's going away. And we're going to have more and more radios that have it. But what's nice is we're hanging on to the analog stuff, because you can buy I don't have my Baofeng, but you can buy your Baofeng, your B-Tech, or whatever the heck it is, for under $50. So we're living at a time that didn't exist 10 years ago. I mean, really, it didn't exist 10 years ago. Now, I work with some stuff that it's all connected somehow through digital stuff. But at the end, what are they doing? They're talking on microphones. They're talking through radios. They're talking through HTs. And some of it sounds really, really, really good. And some of it sounds really, really okay. So I like it. I think that was a really long-winded answer for I like it. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of people. I really did. And hopefully sooner than later, we're going to have our we're trying to figure out how we're going to handle it. Getting used most likely. I hope it's going to work. We're going to use All Star to get our / I don't know where Brian's at, but he's somewhere. Get our Fusion tied into all the analog and All Star stuff. So that's the next step. We're making a box because that's the only thing I don't like is that big old connector on the back of the Yaesu is missing a couple of things we need, and we're going to steal it from the mic jack and use a banana and a toothpick and some dental floss, and we're going to make it work. So at least we think we are, and that way
the bubble gum wrapper as well.
And that way, when Bobby's stuff, somebody steers it our direction through Fusion, right? It hooks it up and it pops out our Fusion, right? Well, it's gonna pop out if someone turns it on, it'll just pop out on the analog side of VVR, and then it'll also pop out on all the VVR All-Star stuff that Mike's got going, So when we do nets, you turn the thing on, and we'll be on every frequency, everywhere, all the time for the net, and then you just push a couple buttons, turn it off. I mean, that's just fun, just fun.
I think that's perfect.
I think that Kev brings up a good thing about digital too that I've noticed as a newer ham is that the price of entry, like getting in, you need maybe a Pi, something like that. There's so much freeware online. Yeah. So much of it it's just about what was the quote I liked? Some SWR grease, just put some SWR oil on it and get after it, I think that really it's really cheap for a tech to get in now and just kind of get after. There's so much free software, so much cheap hardware. It makes it really easy to get started if you're into it,
Yeah.
You want to get all big boy and get like your Yaesu, your YSF server, like Bobby Lee's, and like Mr. Hagen's that I saw over at your house, Kevin. Those are some nice setups, but even that, beyond a can, an acoustic can to like get your in and out, it costs like under a G, which is really like smooth ass technology. It's really, it's really high-tech stuff, man. You get into the RF part of it, and that's so old school, and it's been around for a while, and some of that's cheap, too. I mean, you just need to bridge it, but,
when you get
the barrier of entry, it seems rather reasonable these days to really get your own.
It is. Only we got to caution.
ISF server, your own wires, X rooms.
Yep. So are we going through I'm not even listening to the ham radio now. But are we going through everything right now?
Yeah, we're linked through everything. Yep.
So Bobby Lee, you can hear us on your stuff over there?
Yeah. For some reason, I keep dropping out.
I keep timing you out.
But my right now I see it's transmitting, so I'm not sure really what was going on.
It keeps dropping out because my big fat foot won't come off the key fast enough to keep us under that 3-minute timer, and so I keep Kevin, although we don't have a timer on our side that's of any relevance per se, there's a rule in regards to the YS or the Wires X repeater that it needs to be on a 3-minute timer, I believe, and I that's based on what someone else had said.
I have a question. It's at 200 seconds.
What's
that? I
that?
have a question. If we're using the Fusion system, and you're tying 2 repeaters or more together, just those repeaters, and you're not affecting another group system, why can't we choose our own timeout timer for whatever it is that? So Bobby might say, "Well, I'm good for 5 minutes on my system."
Yeah.
And we might say, okay, we're good for 5 on ours. And as long as we're not tying into somebody else's stuff and bothering them, why can't we control our own?
Yeah.
I think we probably can. I'm looking at mine right now, and my options are, I mean, the ones that stick out are 3, 4, 5, and 10 minutes.
I think 3 is a recommendation. I don't know that it's an actual rule, and maybe it could be interpreted by that, and I absolutely could be wrong. So I am saying this in front of everybody without doing any prior research. I'll footnote that, but I don't believe that that's a rule. I've never read it in an FCC rule book, but I think that 3 minutes is like your like considered standard transmission time, and so to prevent things from looping and stuff like that, people want to set some kind of timer, or if someone's keyed up, they can deactivate it or whatever. So
I can turn my timer off completely. I mean, out of all the settings, look, it says off at the bottom.
Yeah, and it does make it challenging when we have like a long-winded conversation, but it's definitely something to keep in mind, and I'll try to keep it under that mark, not to kick it off, because I've done it a couple times here. So,
hey Nick, you might have to get like 2 pedals under you, like double bass going, dude.
Yeah, just 1, 2, 3, 4. No, but Kevin, I do appreciate you chiming in on that, because it's important to get perspective of people that have been around the hobby for enough time to really have a good feel for the whole bigger picture, because there's a lot of us that are really new, including myself, and I think that it's an excellent source of communication. And I think that that digital does. I completely agree with you. I think it gives everyone an avenue to kind of get connected, and so that's super cool. I do want to take just a second and break and see if there's anybody out on any of the repeaters or through any digital connection that wants to jump in and say hi. And in just a few moments here, we'll post our Zoom meeting, and if anybody wants to jump in and participate and hang out for a few more minutes, you're welcome to do so. So I'll break now. We'll see if anybody else wants to jump in and say hi.
Hi, FRD, Fred here. Hi, Nick.
Oh, that call sign is like music to my ears, Fred. Every time I hear it, it just gets me excited. What's going on, buddy?
That dude's the king of simplex, man.
He is, right?
He's talking good stuff about my call sign. They were all chatting it up and giving me props on 3-3 the other day. They like the ring of it. That's why I chose it.
W1FRD. I've been practicing.
Awesome. Well, thanks for chiming in, Fred. Do you have anything to comment on digital modes? Do you work with any digital modes right now?
Found on PSK 31 because I got that nice little what's that called? Some kind of a device that hooks up to my tablet and puts it out on my. I think it's a Wolfie Link. That's what it's called. Yeah, and as far as like digital propagation, I got that Revitus radio, but struggling to get it going. Finding a repeater that's near me that has digital capability. Have to break down and get a hotspot.
It's a Retivus.
Oh yes, I remember you talking about that. You got an awesome deal on that thing. I think that was the reason why you bought it, right, Fred?
I found it on eBay. I think I bid $26. It was $10 shipping, so $36 radio.
Can't beat that. DMR radio for $30.
That's awesome. Yeah, maybe I need to go check out eBay more often. See if I can find those. I hear about people finding deals all the time on eBay, and I never find anything other than terrible, overpriced, things are already bid past what they're worth types of deals. So I don't know.
You know what? I've done a lot of business on eBay. Or not business, but just me buying crap. I call it business, but it's just me buying shit.
It's a code name. That's really good.
You find the typos. Like there was a while I was really into keyboards, and you could find typos on really good gigs, incredibly cheap. That's not like I want to get over on folks, but I'm just saying.
If they spell it wrong or something.
If they spell it wrong, I've totally seen it happen before, where somebody spelled something a little wrong,
And it's not like you want to tell your friends they could swoop on you on this great deal you're going to see on eBay.
All right.
But it tends to happen.
That's called capitalizing on opportunity.
Exactly, right? Exactly. I'm
Well-
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out, FRD. Please, come out.
eBay's been okay for me. I bought a 2-meter single sideband amp, and the post office lost it.
Oh.
Oh man,
If it was
that's
insured,
crazy.
you might actually money for nothing, dude.
Well, let's pass it along to the next person. Is there anybody else out there that wants to chime in and say hi before we shut it down and go to Zoom?
There's Greg in the chat. Greg Haskey, are you on one of the digital modes? Come out here, man.
Greg just posted, I bought a Yaesu FT2DR as a CB on eBay for $75. Heck, that's a good deal. Yeah, if you're on that, come on in and say hi.
Yeah, totally. On that FT2DR, TDFT.
Say it
those the-
10 times as fast as you can.
As
Come
fast
on.
as you can.
FTD2R, FTD2R, FTD2R. Come on.
Come on in again,
$75.
station.
He
I
comes
heard
with
you.
it, dude.
He's the guy I hate right there. That's the guy that goes to eBay and goes, "Yeah, I got a $300 radio for $75." Yeah, well, we hate you, man. Okay.
Oh, W7 EDM Ed says Yaesu is a great example of typos on eBay. I guarantee it. You can get deals just like that.
All right, so the big takeaway today, this is Nick, KN6DAL,
People can't spell.
is get on eBay
Yeah.
and start
Just look up
misspelling
Yaesu
stuff
spelled
until you
wrong
find a
and-
deal that's too
and
good to be
sweep
true.
up the stuff
And then you got it. And then Greg said, my local repeater sucks. I need a hotspot. Well, try to misspell hotspot on eBay and see if you can find a deal on one. And that
Actually,
should
you know
be
what?
good to go.
Dual hats on eBay, like dual hats DMR, like this straight up Pi-Star servers. Those things go for like $30-$40. They're, get your Pi-Star 3 going with them. You don't need a case, just as cheap as possible.
Yep.
You could do it like Mike, where he just rubs electrical tape around the whole damn thing. And as long as it works, man. I mean, I think you could really build a Pi-Star, man, if you wanted to go bare bones. And that'll get you D-Star. That'll get you DMR. Probably spend $60, ship to your house or something, man. That's what I would do. That's what I've done.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
I put my
You can even do it.
iron to them, and then I have to get another one.
You can do
So
it for
it's,
really inexpensive if you and I'll say this for anybody that's interested in a hotspot. If you're willing to wait the time and you don't have to have it right now, there are websites that you can order them directly from China and wait, what is it, 5 to 850 weeks for them to come in. And once they finally arrive and, their third version of that unit has already came out, you can put together your hotspot. But realistically, you can do it for pretty inexpensive if you're willing to wait on the parts. I think it was Mike that I was talking to at one point. You can find a Pi Zero for I think it's like
perfect.
$12 or so. How much?
$10.
$10 online.
Pi Zero W's. You get the W for the wireless because there is some without wireless. So
Right.
Pi Zero
Maybe
W.
we should have done that show where, like, the cheapest. What can we build the cheapest, like, a Pi-Star with? Dude?
Okay,
'Cause
there you
can
go.
get,
We
like,
have
$10,
next week's topic.
$15, for the you want the wireless, but if we're gonna go as cheap as possible here, maybe we should have a contest, guys. Who could build the cheapest, most jankiest?
Or maybe we
Pi-Star
could do
here.
everyone a little bit of a favor and do and just do some research, and then next week let's bring that up. It doesn't have to be the whole anti-net, but we could bring up just the topic of how you can approach that from the least expensive standpoint.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The Greg, the comment, he said he can't get into this local repeater. is he can't get in? Is he not able to get into something to chat with us tonight? Is that what he's talking about? And if so, what's he trying to get into? Where's he at?
We got the smoking egg too, man. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, appreciate it. He showed up 2 weeks ago when we were having all those audio issues.
I've seen him in
in the worst of times and
Thanks
in the
for
best of
coming by, buddy.
times. For those of you who don't know who that is, the Smoking Ape, awesome YouTube channel. You should definitely go check it out.
Yeah, he's got a great channel.
Yeah, I've
Great
I've
channel,
learned
actually.
more information that I can even fathom from there.
So does anybody know where Greg's trying to get into?
I'm not entirely sure.
Is it us? I don't know who Greg is.
I've
Says he's got a local
talked with
repeater
him on
that's
Discord
not
before.
Kid.
Oh, so he's not trying to get into our stuff.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure that he's a local cat.
Oh, okay,
Get
cool.
in, get in on the digital modes, Greg.
Yeah, they're all on the bottom of the screen, buddy.
I like you already, dude. Your name's Greg, man. Get in on the digital mode. There's so many links. It's at the bottom of the screen, right?
Yeah, that's what I was
It's,
curious. I'm like, man,
Everything, buddy.
Yeah.
if you can't talk to us, well, you can't talk to people.
Get in where you fit in.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap up the RF into this here tonight and let the repeaters breathe for a minute. So I'll let this drop and come right back.
Oh, Greg's in Canada. Hey, dude.
This is Nick
come to the Zoom- Come to
KN60AL.
the Zoom afterwards, Greg.
Yeah, I'm gonna
there's
post
so many
those.
modes, dude.
Go
We'll
ahead,
get you
Greg.
in, dude.
I'm pretty sure our fusion repeater here at my house, the new antenna, reaches Canada. I'm pretty sure.
If there was
Especially
anybody that
when,
could
Kevin
reach
stands on top of
Canada
it, too.
on 2 meters, it would be you, Kevin.
The 2 meters to Canada. I'm pretty sure.
All right, so I think we're going to shut down the RF side, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming out. The W6VVR repeater, thank you for having us, and thank you so much, Bobby Lee and Tim. That's KD6KWV and K6BIV for the use of their brand new Wires X repeater system. Awesome,
Hey,
and I appreciate
Hey,
that.
Nick, before you cut out,
Go ahead.
what happened to Justin here? He's
He-
been on mute. We don't get to see him.
The thing is,
Justin,
There
come on,
you
give
go.
us some laughs.
All right.
Oh, there he is, dude.
you better come in and say something real quick, Justin.
All right, KM6ZTHS, we would like to thank you all for the use of your repeaters, and we'll see you all over in Zoom.
All right. So we're going to post the Zoom link here in just a second, and I hope anybody who can come out and join us. And again, I'll say thank you, stay safe, and we will see everybody next week.
Well, Justin, did you just decide to push the button all of a sudden? Were you bored?
Yeah, he's been there like the whole time cruising.
No,
It-
actually,
it took
I
him
had to-
53
I got a
minutes to get it
phone call
figured
from
out.
Clients. I ended up on a
Oh.
phone call forever, and I'm like, ah! And then I started listening in a little bit here and there, and yeah. So.
Oh, we don't,
I'll be back. I gotta pee like a racehorse. I'll be back.
we don't want to interrupt Justin's call.
There you go.
Thank you
right,
for
Bobby.
posting that, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to get.
Nice. I'm really proud of you guys. You did a good job tonight. I'm really proud of you guys.
I wish I would have known, Tim, that you were ready to go in on Zoom. I would have gotten you in a long time ago, buddy. Sorry.
Thank you for posting that, Mike.
Someone's got audio looped in on YouTube.
So we
Yeah.
gotta get,
It's Tim. Hey, Tim, can you shut off your YouTube?
I wish I would have known, Tim, that you were.
There, I fixed it. Yeah, turn. You can unmute now if you want, Tim. Just make sure your YouTube is turned off.
Yeah.
There you
YouTube's turned off. Sorry.
Perfect. Yeah. Hey, if you'd like, I can get you into the Zoom meetings right from the beginning, Tim. If you want to either text me your phone number or an email address or something like that, you can do that privately in Zoom, or you can look me up on QRZ, whatever you want.
I can do it right here.
Okay.
I don't need to be private. I'm public everywhere.
I saw Aaron Smith's name pop up for the peripheral vision.
Hey.
But what I read was Aerosmith in my brain. And I went, man, that's kind of interesting. So, but you too, Aaron. You're also interesting. There at the Golden Gate Bridge. That's cool.
Yeah, hey Kevin, you sent me on this wild goose chase. I think I've watched all your coax rig expert videos. I've been testing stuff over here. You got me motivated, man.
Really? Well, I'm sitting here right now. I was going to tell Bobby Lee about this. I'm playing with the crystal filter for the receive side of the repeater. I don't know what this costs, but it's we're off the radio. It's super bitchin'. These things are like awesome.
How narrow?
Oh, this one is a low band, around below 6 meters, 42 megs, and it's plus minus 6.75 kilohertz, which is fine for what it's designed for. And you come on, I don't have it hooked up to the thing, but I have it set for 200 kilohertz span. So the first graticule over is 20 kilohertz. So you go down 20 kilohertz, and you're already down 28 dBm. I mean, that's insane. And you go down here, way down here to the bottom, you're like minus 72. I mean, that would be that's why they use them.
Yeah.
Put them on the receivers and.
Well, I want you guys to notice something. You see the stuff that's blinking over here? That's an All-Star node. Because all your talk about All-Star made me go down to the garage and dig stuff out that used to be in my car. And, of course, I haven't been on All-Star in such a long time that my node numbers weren't canceled, but I was taken out of the server. So I talked to Tim Sawyer today down in Southern Cal, and he assured me he would put me back.
Hey, Tim, that's awesome. What's your node number, dude? How low is it?
41. Oh, let's see. I think I'm going 41.9 at 1925. I think
41.19.20.
41925.
Okay. Are you still on? Do you got your node working?
Well, the node works. It's just not loaded in the server yet, but it will be by tomorrow, he said. So, and then I talked to Dave Shaw, who's another coordinator for this stuff. You know, Dave and I have been friends a long time. So I threw Tim a little donation, and because I figured if people are going to do stuff,
grease some wheels there, buddy.
Yeah,
No, I'm a big fan of All Star lately. Actually, it's the Resident Geek's fault that I got into it. He knows where I intend to go after, since I'm a geek like that, and then I'm just been too much into it. Spent too much time in it. I'm gonna have 10 nodes going that just connect to each other in a centipede that don't actually do anything, because I don't really talk to that many people there. But we should start a massive 2-meter crew, just chain of all-star nodes, dude. It's so easy to throw another one on top of a Pi. You build one for a Pi. It takes a little bit more just to get another soft node to connect. You could build a massive octopus on something like that very quickly.
Yeah, I'm not a real Pi fan, to be honest with you. So
I like them because they're so easy. Once you get them going, they're just done. They're so simple little machines.
True,
don't run anything else on it.
If you're going to put stuff mobile, and you want stuff to come on when you turn your car on, and you want to shut your car off and not have to go through any bullshit, just and it all die. Pies don't like that. Pies want to be shut down softly.
Yeah, everybody wants to get a kiss before they get after it.
Well, I have a couple of these RTCMs that Micronode used to make, and they You can just flip power on and off, and it doesn't hurt it because it's all EEPROM.
What type of board do they use?
I got you.
I just want to, hey, Bert, you have an intruder in your spaceship. You really need to be cautious.
I do like Bert's new background, dude. Are you in the space shuttle, dude? Are you up in the ISS, dude? Because I would try harder for that connect if I knew you were up there, dude. I'd get two Balfangs to make it happen, dude.
Yeah. Get that whole triangulation going.
How you doing, bud? How come you don't just come up on the regular? I know that you could be a guest, dude. You should just come up on the regular show, dude.
I don't know. I don't know if I know enough like you guys.
And this is a whole new dimension for amateur radio. You know, being able to actually see people.
Right?
Yeah, what happened to a face for radio? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I think that was kind of the most unique thing before technology really hit this platform was, and I guarantee all of you are going to agree, you know, when you meet a new ham and you develop a friendship, next thing you know, you guys are into QSOs, you're just doing your thing, you're learning about each other, and what happens? You create a picture of this individual in your head. You have formulated it, you have colored it in, you put the cap, the glasses, whatever the heck your mind decided to put together, you created this perspective of who this person is. And it never meets the picture when you meet that person individually. And it's so funny because every time for the last 30 years that this has happened to me, every time, they never look anything like what I put together in my head.
Right.
Yeah, you and I met in a restaurant. You didn't even know who we were.
You know, that was such a, I mean, that is my introduction to DMR, you guys. So I'm down at Digger's Diner in Concord, California, and I'm doing a business meeting because I want to get my auto detailing business on their tables because they have this cool little thing where they put local community business owners on their table. You make a business card, what have you. So I'm in this business meeting, and this guy is talking serious to me. I mean, we're talking business. But there's a bunch of guys over there that have got like 8 Motorola's on a table. And they're all just chewing it up and chatting and eating their breakfast. I'm trying to do business, okay? I'm like, how did it's all those Motorola's? Why has everybody got all those radios? And so business meeting ends. I go over and I'm all, hey, you guys, what's the deal with all these radios? Tim goes to me. Well, have you ever heard about ham radio?
Didn't know you were a ham. You don't look like a ham.
Oh, really? Huh. KD6KWV, nice to meet you. And that's how my DMR started, was meeting a bunch of guys at a table with radios that likes to have a little camaraderie and fellowship, have a little breakfast on Wednesdays. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And what do you mean I can take my XPR 7550 from my detail shop and turn it into a ham radio? Okay.
We've been doing that for 30 years, that meeting, by the way. Not always at Diggers, but it's rotated around.
I love that. I love that. You know, so again,
Go for breakfast at Diggers?
Well, it started off as lunch. We would meet we would order at 10:30. We get there at 10 o'clock. But these guys, I'm 71, and these guys, well, a lot of them are dead. That's how old. And so as you get older, you're concerned about your last meal. So the lunch turned into kind of a brunch that turned into a breakfast. And they meet at the Alpine Bakery, which they used to call Fat City, at 6 o'clock in the morning. And what they really wanted to do was to go from Fat City to Diggers, but they had to make Diggers a lot earlier. Now, if Fat City would open at 5, these guys would meet there at 5.
Wow.
I will never understand it because I'm retired and I don't have any desire to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for anything.
Me either. Do you know? do you know Digger Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, that's my cousin.
Is it really?
His first wife, Kathy.
Yep.
They're the ones that started it.
Yep.
Yep. And then girls took it over.
He's crazy, you know that.
We won't. I'm not going to be recorded talking about how crazy she is.
Yeah.
Hey fellas,
actually,
fellas, I'm gonna break you up with the reminiscing because we got some new folk here, and I want to hear from them. You know, just like me, just like you guys did with me when I was a newbie 3 or 4 months ago. I want to put some new guys on the spot, and there's a Greg Haskey here that I haven't seen before, and I want to hear about him. I'm looking at his background. I see some old radios. I want to see what that dude's into, and I want to hear from Aaron as well. I already know you, Bert. I'm not gonna ask you, bro. Dan, I think I know you. No, I'm not sure. I'm gonna call them out straight up. Greg, Aaron, and Dan. Haven't seen these cats. I want to hear from these guys. I heard from all of you other cats, though.
Easy killer. Hey, Greg. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Aaron.
Yeah. I just jump in here, guys. I wanted to pop in. I'm a dad of 2 boys, and I could have to jet at any moment in time here. Tim knows that. The other night I was chatting with him, and picking up the kids from basketball right in the mid-sentence, and just the wheels fell off. So anyway, I'm kind of like Nick. I'm a fairly new ham. I'm out here in the East Bay. Primarily got into it for off-the-grid type sort of situations.
Nick's not that new, by the way.
Yeah. When you compare to some of the celebrities in the room.
I'm sorry, Nick just got his extra.
Yeah, actually, Aaron deserves a congratulation because Aaron just got his extra.
As did I, for various reasons. I would say I'm still new to it. I was drawn to it more for the outdoor. I go to remote places. I have kiddos. I like the safety aspect of it, and then the other piece of it that I was chatting with Sandy the other night is the community aspect, right? So I rock climb. I do a lot of outdoor stuff, and I want to look into search and rescue. Right, so the SAR stuff, Contra Costa County Sheriff, trying to get back a little bit and using some of the skills that I have, amateur radio being one of them. So anyway, I started pulling back the layers and really getting into it. And I'm like, man, I really love this stuff. And then it just went deeper and deeper. And anyway, that's it. It's gear intensive, like all the other hobbies that I've got going on. And
hey, Aaron, what's your call sign, bro?
W6 AEF.
Hey, Aaron.
I'm gonna look you up, buddy.
Go for it.
One thing to keep in mind, man, you can always bring your kids on here. A lot of us have kids, and they're all very young, and they're all welcome in Northwest Ham Shack, man. I've got 3 little girls of my own. They'll pop in from time to time. I have 2 dogs that I try to keep out of the shack, but they somehow find their way in. So your whole family's welcome, man. If anybody ever wants to chime in and say hi or whatever, they're all welcome.
Yeah, my little guy's like, Daddy, the jammer's on. The jammer's on. It's like, did they catch?
You're
the
listening
jammer,
to the 33 then, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's exactly
That's
what
great.
was happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, Greg, to your point, man, I listen a lot. I don't. I'm trying to be more active and trying to say hello to people. So I wanted to just come in tonight and just get on Zoom really quickly, say hello to everybody. I'm on Discord and I'm trying to be a bit more active and social. So it was just reaching out, and I appreciate you calling me out, man. But it's been a good group of folks so far.
Super cool.
This
Thanks
is a great
Aaron.
community, actually. You know what? I've been around I don't know if longer or less than you, but this is an awesome community. And contrary to what Nick says, my baby boy is 10 years old.
He's welcome too.
My big guy is 20 and he weighs 200 pounds, dude, and sitting on me ain't gonna happen any longer. But I do, you know what? We are all the same in that, dude. Just my kids are older, dude.
But I do
Yeah.
appreciate you coming out, and I dig that, dude. I'm gonna look you up. We're gonna talk.
I mean,
to
all
you.
the stuff like Nick building his whatever pixie thing. I suck at soldering. Kevin's videos on the Rig Expert and coax and reflective this and reactive that and Smith charts. Like, I dig it, and it's fun for me to have all of the resources. KM6 FAK's channel, the Ham Radio TV. I've gotten a lot out of it, and I'm still learning a lot.
Jason's a cool
which
guy
is all,
too, man.
yeah, which has been really fun for me, and everybody's been super nice. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. I'm in the sleepy town of Moraga. Maybe we'll get a reflector, repeater out here someday. I don't know. You never know.
That's awesome.
My
Well,
They got a
hometown,
lot of they got a lot of stuff up in the air out in Moraga, right?
There's some stuff in the Oakland Hills, Grizzly Peak. Yeah, there's some stuff out there.
No, Bobby Lee says no. I don't know.
well, what about
Bobby's
Greg?
seen enough of Moraga. I learned a little bit of history from him the other day, and Moraga comments that I can share with my kids. So
Moraga's it's a beautiful place, man. I just have to assume you do well, Aaron. You live in Moraga, my friend.
don't make any assumptions. I schlep like the rest of everybody, day to day, pal.
It's all good. It's all good, man. We all do what we do. Hey, thanks for talking, Aaron. I do appreciate it, and we're
Greg's
gonna get with
next.
you again. But I want to hear from Greg too, because this guy, I saw him on the G Chat, and I know that you don't have a digital mode. It doesn't look like one from your background, but I can't tell if that's if it's fake or not at this point. How are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad. The background is a picture of my rigs in my basement. And no, I don't do digital. I am the guy that bought the 2DR for $75.
I do everything. I love FM. I love it all, dude. I mean, but digital is pretty cool. That was the thing of our show, and but it's great to see you come by, man. I mean, why don't you tell us about yourself? Where are you at, dude? What is your draw to digital, if you have any at all?
Well, I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I too have a 7-year-old who's in bed, so I gotta keep down a little bit. Not too much towards digital, really. Yaesu Fusion, but like I was saying, the local repeater kind of it's hit or miss if it works or not. So I need to get myself a hotspot. I've only been a ham since March, so I'm still really, really, really new.
Sounds like Nick. Guy. No, look at his background, and he said, "I've only been a ham since March," and that's his background. That's how impressive, and I mean it's stuff like that really warms my heart to see somebody that's been intrigued and inspired by the hobby in such a unique way. That look at this gentleman's shack. I mean, I'm looking behind you, bro, and that's quite a unique and impressive picture from I'm only a young gun. I'm like a 30-year ham, and my shack doesn't look like that. Good job, bro, and welcome.
Yeah, that does look awesome, man.
What you can't see behind my head is an amplifier, which I'm technically not licensed to use, so it just sits there and looks pretty.
I never saw anything.
On there.
Can you move to your left a little bit?
There you go.
I'm kind of thinking that was to the right, but whichever works.
I was gonna figure out which way is which on the film. But yeah, so that's an amplifier there, and that's there's a Kenwood 520 and a Yaesu 767 there.
Nice.
And the thing on top there, that's a Heath kit.
It's like you said, Bobby Lee. You got to get in where you fit in. Dude.
Well, hey Greg, I don't know what your budget is as far as.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I don't know what your budget is as far as a hotspot is concerned, but something to consider, like what we were talking about a little bit earlier, is there's some pretty inexpensive avenues to get them, and basically it's two components. It's at minimum a Raspberry Pi Zero W, which is a wireless Raspberry Pi Zero. They can be had for as little as $10 if you're willing to wait a few weeks for them. And then an DVM hot hat. It doesn't even have to have a screen or anything on them. You can, I want to say the least I've seen them, and maybe chime in if you've seen them less, Mike, but I want to say the least I've seen them is probably around $30, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
I think you could find them around that. And honestly, the screen doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you don't even
away from all your other RF anyways.
Yeah, you don't. All you need is those two things. If you can get those two things, you can reach out to me or a majority of people on here, and we would be happy to. You can even. You're on Discord, right? If you get those two things, you can reach out to me, and I'd be happy to sit down and walk you through programming it and getting it all set up, and getting you capable of connecting that way. So that would probably be the least expensive route. The easiest route is just to go on Amazon and buy one for like $90 or $100. The disadvantage to that is they oftentimes come with antiquated software on them already, and still you would have to go through the process of re-updating the image on them. So just something to consider if you wanted to save a little money and you were willing to wait. You don't have it now, so you could possibly go that route.
Yeah, I'll definitely be looking into it because, I'm not working right now, so money's a little tight, but I'll definitely look into it for sure. Thank you.
Cool.
It looks like from the background you've got a radio who could tune into them. I mean, they're for the majority 2 meter 70 centimeter radios just off the bat, right? So I am looking at your background. I think you could get after it, dude. Well, they do kind of require internet too. You have to have an internet backend if you've already got that.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, All-Star is even easier to some degree. It can be a little bit more expensive to get involved in at first, but you don't even need a digital capable radio. Just any.
You don't even need a radio.
Yeah, true.
You can run a virtual machine, right? If you have Windows or whatever you're using, run a virtual machine, grab the Debian image off of allstarlink.org, install it, get a node number, set it up, and you can go in through your phone or a Windows app called IAXRPT, and you can be on talking to us at the local computer here or anywhere in the world that has an All-Star node.
Or an iPhone Zyper app or something. Yeah, that is actually, you could do it with just a single board computer and some SWR grease to rub up on your elbows and knees and stuff, because there's a learning curve on those things. We're not all as smart as Mike over here, where we just kind of like we're born with spitting All-Star out of our booty. But you bear down on a little bit, it'll get done, dude, and it's rather cheap. I honestly think All-Star is the my personal opinion at this point. I think that's the most versatile, cheapest way to get off the ground on a digital. You could do a software like Mike said, you could do a radioless node entirely and do it off an iPhone, an Android, a PC. There is that install of the Pi, and there's not as much support as other stuff, but I really think it's the most versatile, cheapest way to get off the ground on digital is All-Star.
Yeah,
I actually love the idea of All-Star.
I think it's the most versatile. I don't know that it's definitely more complicated than some of the other digital modes, and the start of your ham radio adventure can be complicated, right? It can be challenging for people, especially people that there are all walks of life in the community that we call ham radio, and some people they don't do as well with technology, and some people it's really hard for them to pass. They have to take the technician test 2-3 times before they pass, and they're able to actually even talk on a radio, and then they get a radio and they have to learn to program it. and so sometimes those can be a challenge, and there's a lot of YouTube videos and resources and stuff out there there to show people. So I would argue that All-Star is probably a little bit more in-depth and complicated for the beginner user, but it is more versatile. It does have the versatility and the interconnectivity that's available outside of other platforms. I would say as far as ease of use and cost, I mean, if you're anywhere near a YSF repeater, you can literally buy a $150 radio and do everything, so I don't know. That's my perspective on it, but I have both, so it's.
I agree with you, Dick. I mean, All-Star does have a learning curve, dude. I think it definitely has a learning curve, but price point. I mean, you're gonna have to dig. You're absolutely gonna have to dig more than building a Pi-Star off of $100 machine you buy off of Amazon, most definitely. But,
right. Well, price point, you're absolutely right, because as Mike just stated, you can literally do it for free. You can literally get on your computer, and with enough time and patience, you can make a setup work for free with All-Star that you can communicate with any other All-Star node. And if you were able to connect to Mike's All-Star node, you would be able to interconnect with all of those WiresX repeaters with the W6VVR repeater through DMR, and then it's just a matter of resourcing with other people to get connected where you want to go. And so yeah, it can be free to get on a digital mode. So great point.
You gotta be as smart as Mike too. I think just picks it up.
Or a patient listener.
If you want to do other digital stuff, there's software called DV Switch Server. So if you go to groups.io and search DV Switch Server, you can also install virtually the same thing it's like All-Star, but like you install it virtually, and then you can get on DMR, YSF, MXDN, P25, all that stuff for free as well. So you don't necessarily need a hotspot, but you would still, again, you'd have to use your phone or a computer program to access it. So it's not like you're using a radio. But I mean, if you just want to talk to people and check it out before you, like put money into doing something that's standalone, like a hotspot or whatever, it's a good way to see, like, am I even interested in doing this type of mode? You know what I mean? Like, it just gets your feet wet. Like, do I like this or not? So if you don't like it, you didn't spend any money. You might have spent some time, but you learned something along the way. So that's how I feel about it.
I have a question and a comment.
You could pick one, Kevin.
Yeah, Kev, not about that.
Okay.
Don't be greedy.
I'll combine.
I'll be back in 1 second, guys.
The question's short. Nick, are you hardwired through your new switch?
No, but I will be tomorrow.
Oh, okay. It's not doing it tonight.
That's really good. I did change a few different things. I really truly believe that my my USB interface cable from the 991A to the computer is a death trap for RF. It's just a problem.
You can be.
So I've got that wrapped through a Type 43 toroid to try to prevent it, and I seem to have it in a spot where it's not getting any interference from it. It's a really tough cable to deal with.
Don't touch it.
Don't move it.
Yeah, but my comment was, back to what we were talking about earlier. What was my thought on digital? And the bottom line is, there's different strokes for different folks. Some people like to read the magazine and go, man, I want to get on All-Star. And you're a doer, you're a techie, you're a builder, and you want to get into the nuts and bolts and build this thing and solder and stuff. And then you got the person that says, no, I just want to buy the radio and I want it to work. So you do what Nick says and you go buy that radio that just gets onto a YSF system and it just works. Or the other person that's got more IT kind of a blood in them, like Mike, our geek, just take your computer, put the software on it, and you're on. What are those headsets cost? Like $12 or something? Get a headset. You don't even need a head. Mike's not even using a head. Are you on your phone or your computer tonight, Mike? I don't even know.
Which way? What are you talking about?
Well, when you get on, like when I used my laptop for All Star, I had a little headset and I set mine up where the space bar was the push to talk.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that. You can buy a phone or use a phone. or a tablet, or you can connect to it with their software on your computer. I mean, whatever you're comfortable with, there's a way to get in. So.
Right. That's my point. Whatever you're comfortable with. Don't feel like you got to build a node from the ground, All Star node from the ground up. We did it because we wanted to. And also we did it. I did it, started that stuff because we wanted to take repeaters, radios, remote receivers, and the junk like that and tie them together. That's a different thing. And somebody just might want to get on All Star, just talk,
right?
And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
So we've also got.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, are you taking off, Kevin?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take off. I'm going to go take care of a couple things and then kick back. And
well, I appreciate you coming out tonight, and I'm sorry for making fun of you.
That's okay.
I'm just messing with you.
My family's going to do the same thing. It's okay.
I really do appreciate your insight, and I appreciate you chiming on and giving some dialogue. So always good to have you, man.
Have a wonderful rest of the night and a wonderful weekend.
Take care, Kevin. Good to talk to you again, man.
We've got Dan here, and we've got Bert, who haven't had a chance to talk. So Dan, you got anything you want to throw in there?
Hi, everybody. I'm usually on here. I just haven't been on for the past few weeks.
I've seen you out here before.
I don't do a lot of digital. I'm still trying to learn it. About a year ago, I got back into ham after being I checked into my net like every couple of weeks, and that was about it. And got interested again, turned on a YouTube video, and I see this guy with his feet up on the porch, and he's got 3 HTs, and he's talking to people and listening to people all over the world. And I'm going, how are we doing that on a 5-watt HT? So it was a thing about digital, and it was DMR and Fusion and all the other stuff. So I bought an FT3DR and an OpenSpot, and still can't figure out how to use them. So tonight I was listening to the 2-meter, and I figured out how to hook it into that repeater, the 24033, whatever it is. That's the first time. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, slowly but surely. It's definitely, I'm not real big on computer stuff and figuring out, what button to push and what one to set up, and slowly but surely I'll get it.
You got the FTD3, the little HD from Yaesu, right? You definitely not wasting time, bro. That is a nice machine, dude. I'd love to have that machine, but definitely starting right. Yeah, that's great. And you hooked up tonight and you got it working?
Yeah, I actually picked it up. I had to hook it up through the computer. I keep trying to figure out how to do it through the radio, and it didn't want to take the node number or whatever it is. So I tried changing it on the computer itself through the OpenSpot, and it hooked it right up. So it's like, okay, so now I figured out how to do that.
Hey, right on, man. Baby steps. I think we've all done the same thing. We've all done the same thing, man. I've completely, head-butted trying to wrap my head around getting around some of this too. So, absolutely awesome, dude. Are you on our Discord as well?
No, I didn't do the Discord. I just do the YouTube and RF. I'll just get on the 2-meter and talk and say that, and then come over to the Zoom. It's too many.
Hey, you know what? If you are into Discord, if you're into it, most of us are there all the time too. And if you have any questions about it, I'm sure any one of us would love to help you out, man. I know that I'm huge into the digital. I love that stuff. I think because I'm a technician, I feel like there's a barrier of entry to a lot of HF stuff because I can't afford the radio that I honestly want. I've done enough research to know I can't afford it. But digital's easy, man. It's like baby steps, $50 here, $100 there, and you could just keep opening it up. DMR, D-Star, YSF, L-Star. There's just so much of it that could be baby step through. But, there's a lot of us out here who are really into it. And if you come out to our Discord, you could, there's plenty of folks, not only myself or Mike or Nick or even Bert out there who would be totally willing to help you out on that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'm figuring out the open spot too. I guess it'll hook up, whatever they call it, cross cover. So it'll do DMR and it'll do all the other stuff. And I just got to figure out what buttons to push and how to hook everything up. I recently got Ham Radio Deluxe, which I tried probably 10, 15 years ago, and just figured out how to make that thing work. Yeah, only a little bit. So before it was just 2 meter and Aries, and that's all I really needed to do. And now as things are getting a little bit more along,
it's a rabbit hole, man. It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. But what? Come out to our. Has somebody sent a link to Dan in regards to our 2 meter crew website, man?
And it's on the it's in the chat in the YouTube chat as well. So.
Definitely come out, Dan. Good. Definitely check it out, man. There's a lot of us doing all kinds of rabbit holes, man. You think you're there now? You'll see a ton of different people doing a ton of different things. Incredible community, man.
Well, what do you?
I'm part of the 2MC Facebook and online and the 330 and stuff like that. So I'll check it out.
Honestly, most of the conversations are happening on Discord or in Discord.
Yeah.
So that's where it's the most active.
I think so. You know what? I'm 47 years old and I don't do Facebook at all, dude. Walk away from that. Honestly, kill that shit. That's just my personal opinion. But that's my personal political opinion. But
sorry, Tim.
I'm 64 and I'm an old motocrosser, so I get on Facebook to see all of us old farts that can't ride anymore.
I get it. I totally get it. I don't know. I'm an IT dude for 20 years, and that's the only political opinion I can stand by, dude. Kill your Facebook, dude.
So we got Bert. What do you have to say, buddy?
Come to Nick's Discord. Much better for your personal feelings in life, dude. Way more enlightening.
Oh, that's not from Discord. Hey, what's going on, guys?
How you been?
So
Hey, Bert.
I got the problem where I can't connect to Bobby Lee's reflector.
Okay.
I had the last number I had was 43329.
80280.
80280.
Yeah, it switched over, so
Just go to your EN screen, just like that. Can you see it? There.
Look at you guys all showing off here.
Go to that screen.
Yes,
Okay.
cool
Type in.
ass little HTs,
Type
man.
in 80.
I'm gonna show you my new
280.
Here's my new
And then
cat.
press AMS.
It's a UV3, dude. With
That's pretty cool.
Crappy stubby antenna.
Oh, that's
Dig it.
Don't tell me what was that a Yaesu or was that the Baofeng?
That's the Baofeng.
Was that Greg? Was that the Baofeng?
My audio died.
So,
it's about thing.
where you at with that, Bert? Where you at with that, Bert?
Connected.
Did it connect? What's your N6 EFR?
You guys hear me?
N6 EFR or KN6DAL?
Yaesu.
That's where they got the design from.
I know, dude. It kills me. Baofeng. Ah.
I'm just gonna print off a Yaesu label on mine.
KN6K. You guys hear me?
I disconnected the cross modes by the
No,
way.
you don't have the. We don't have that.
No, I
anymore
disconnected
either.
that.
Did you hear me, Bert?
I did.
Okay.
Mike, were you the one that was doing all the crossing?
Yes, yeah, I sure
I want
was.
to spend just a little time, maybe not during the net.
Yeah.
balancing that.
Give us just 5 minutes, Tim, and I'm gonna close it down here, and we'll get a second to acquaint each other, just privately in the Zoom here, real quick. Is that sound good? Cool. Well, I think everybody's actually gotten a chance to speak. Before I close down the YouTube, I do want to just say real quick a huge appreciation to not only the W6VVR and the Vac Valley Radio Club, but a huge appreciation to Tim and to Bobby Lee.
hear me now?
Thank you guys so much for giving us the opportunity just to interlink this and help this grow and stuff. It's super cool to see a couple people that are so excited and thrilled to kind of bring ham radio to a new level. That's a super big deal for us, and so we appreciate it. We've always had kind of a common goal of attracting new people into the hobby, and you guys are absolutely doing that. And it takes I know it takes a lot of hard work, and you've invested a lot of money into this system. So with the absolute utmost respect, I just want to say thank you very much for that. And then to everybody that helps keep the Antinet going, you guys are all huge. And to all the people watching, thanks again for coming out. And I'll say 7 threes to everybody. And we will see you all next week.
Idiots.